take this one. So, dear Oleksii, Ambassador, colleagues and friends, pleasure to be here at the end of your today's meeting, the annual meeting of the platform Wiederaufbau Ukraine, the platform, the national platform, the German national platform for the reconstruction in Ukraine. We just realized how comfortable these seats are. You can really get tired a bit on that, so please relax after hard work on your side. It's really a pleasure to be here with you, and it's just 3 weeks after we had the URC, the Ukraine Recovery Conference, here in Berlin, following the one last year in London and the year before in Lugano. I quoted you, Oleksii. You told me this was not a success, it was a successful success. Thanks for this compliment. And what we did and what together in the planning with our colleagues and friends in Ukraine worked out is to organize the URC. I come to this conference a bit later, but I'm still under the impression of 3 weeks ago conference to organize a URC following the whole of society approach. A lot had been done already in Lugano and specifically in London on the private sector engagement, and rightly so, because we need the private investments in Ukraine to get the reconstruction done, the machinery as an input for the whole of society recovery. But more is needed. We included the municipalities, a broad range of local communities from Ukraine and their partner cities from Germany, but also from other European countries. We also involved civil society and academia. 3,400 participants, 14,000 online live stream followers, and 60 state delegations and 110 agreements prove that this URC is the right format. It will be continued next year in Italy, and the aim was to highlight again and to show to the whole world, but also to the aggressor, Putin, that there is continued support for your country, Oleksii, for the people in Ukraine, for a free Ukraine successfully winning this war against Russia, to fight it back, to say it correctly, because they started and they are the aggressors. We launched some alliances at the conference, and some of them also relevant or reflected in the national platform for Ukraine. What we did at the URC, we launched the Skills Alliance, very much focusing on who are those working for the reconstruction in the Ukraine in future. It will be a bottleneck that has been clearly identified with the government and our colleagues in Kiev. And the Skills Alliance is one approach to make this issue not a bottleneck, but a part of the solution. We launched the Gender Alliance. Women already now in war times have more to take, more burden to take in the Ukrainian society, and this can be an advantage for the further development of Ukraine. As some of you know, hopefully all of you know, we are following a feminist development policy, as our colleagues from the Foreign Office do with regard to the foreign policy. We believe that those societies with strong women and strong girls are more resilient societies, more powerful societies, and that definitely is also reflecting what happens now and in the future in Ukraine. Apart from that, we further developed the Coalition for Sustainable Municipalities. This originated already prior to the big war of Russia against Ukraine after 2014. Many local communities from Germany and Ukraine started partnerships. It's following also our approach coming from that time that empowered municipalities are also a tool now for reconstruction, but also to build resilience and to create good governance with split power for the country. Last but not least, the private sector partnerships we set in place here in the German government. Cabinet decision was made in April, a framework of support for partnerships between companies in Germany, in Europe, and in Ukraine. Some instruments are needed for that. It's all about de-risking in a country that is under war, but where not all parts of the countries are facing the same risks. So we believe that we have now a set of instruments in place. This German platform here was launched a bit more than a year ago. We were following the requests from, again, the whole society. Many approached us, as surely also the embassy, the Ukrainian embassy here in Berlin, with the offer to help from all parts of society, NGOs, churches, schools, enterprises, local communities. And although we are an efficient bureaucracy, it comes to a limit. And we thought that the platform is the right tool, the right vehicle to provide the information, to do the matchmaking between those in society who want to be partners with their counterparts in Ukraine. I'm very happy that I saw in my briefing papers now that 850 organizations have joined the platform. 40 events took place since last year. And I think that is a clear signal. It's an advantage if we organize or support not only on a government-to-government level. There we have to be very strategic. We have to make the big deals. We have to create the right framework of our cooperation. But the real life is created by the cooperation between people. And that will be, and I'm very convinced about that, that will be very, very relevant also for the time during accession and after accession. If I may share that here in this room, the tensions we sometimes have in the EU between the old western part of the EU, western and central part of the EU, and after the accession of the Eastern European countries, that in my conviction, we did not invest enough into people's cooperation between civil societies, all different stakeholders in societies. And that creates the true ownership in societies, whether they belong to a broader community like the EU or not. And I think that is a lesson learned. We built the fundament here with this platform. You work today in different areas of lessons learning during the reconstruction process, up to issues like 3D printing for construction. All this very exciting. A huge thank you for all your commitments and engagements. And with that, thanks a lot, and over to you, Oleksii.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's not an easy job to perform after a performer performed here. Beautiful Ukrainian, modern Ukrainian music. But let me share with you some of my considerations. I think that was June was month of Ukraine Recovery Conference, and that was a year of Ukraine Recovery Conference, because we invested a lot together with our German partners, and here I have to praise the cooperation with Jochen and his team, with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Germany and Ukraine, Ministry of Economy of Germany and Ukraine, and Ministry of Zusammenarbeit. And that was a really great teamwork. I think some 6,000 people have been helping us in making this conference possible. But I think what is very important, I remember my president talking to Federal Chancellor Scholz and asking him, let's make this conference, this Ukraine Recovery Conference, typically German style, with concrete results. And Jochen presented all the concrete results which we together have achieved for the recovery. I want to highlight that we indeed aimed at the whole society approach, and that's why analyzing what has not worked well in Lugano or London, we suggested that we expand the scope and introduce this pillars, or how do we call it, for dimensions, right? Not pillars. Pillar was the first ever description for that, and that we said, okay, that would be dimensions. And you know, for me as ambassador, I've been dealing a lot last year and this year with military issues. Now we switched into recovery, but now during the Ukraine Recovery Conference, we have our slogan. United in recovery, united in defense, stronger together. And once again, the companies of military complex are actively participating in shaping the Ukraine Recovery Conference. I think we, with this approach and inclusion of businesses, of regions, of civil society as an integral part of the whole exercise, we laid a good foundation for our Italian friends, so they will be struggling to make this conference better. Well, they have the only chance now to make it better only with better Italian food, but don't tell it to the Germans. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you had a good time in discussing the role of innovation. And well, we Ukrainians, I present my country proudly as country of digitalized, innovative people that can bring a lot to German and European societies in the way we think, in the way we perform, and the way we use modern digital solutions. And that would be also our contribution to the European integration. And I'm happy that we started negotiation about Ukraine's membership in the European Union. So let's make sure that we are an asset for Europe. And as I always say to our German friends, one of the best contribution of Ukraine would be then Ukrainian railways would take over the German railways, so it runs on time, and that would be the best contribution for our European integration. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Now we still have a moment for 3 questions. And so from the public, please, if you wish to ask a question, briefly present yourself and kindly ask a question. We have a microphone that might be coming to you. Please just raise your hand.
It looks like everybody wants to enjoy German food.
Hello. Victor Zagreba from Ukraine. Our small group worked on public-private partnerships for municipal concrete projects. That was our field of innovation, to apply them not only to ports or airports or possible private roads, but to very local projects. That's why my question to both speakers is this in line with political agenda of both Ukraine and Germany, that PPPs should be and can be a very important tool to bring investment to the local level of communities where people live? where people will return after the war? Thank you.
Definitely, for us Ukrainians, this is something we need to discover and to practice more. But from what I saw during the presentation of Ukrainian regions and talks between mayors and regional leaders of Ukraine and Germany, is that we learned the peculiarities of this regional cooperation, and the Germans can tell us a lot on how it works in a federal system. So I think this is something we would really need to expand and to help to local communities in their growing independence and self-governance.
Definitely, and I think we need it on different layers. We need the big investments, also the foreign investments. That is where we provided some instruments and some guarantee instruments, but we also need the intrinsic entrepreneurship in Ukraine. And I would say PPP turned out to be a very successful vehicle, also not only in Germany, in many countries. It usually addresses also small and medium-sized companies, and that I would say is a success story here in Germany, in our country. A big share of our economic development has been taken in the past by SMEs, and I think that is something where we perfectly can cooperate. Also, some of the instruments we are using for example, the development fund are directing providing support in this direction, and already now in the phase where it's sometimes more about fixing than reconstruction. For example, when I was in Makeiev and I saw the destroyed water supply system, and it was fixed in a cooperation between the city and a company, by the way, one from Berlin, solar power desalination, and that was already in these times is an PPP example, and by the way, a very successful one.
Thank you very much. We got another question, second one.
Yes, hello, my name is Natalia Prihornyska from Open Platform and Alliance of Ukrainian Organizations. I'm representing the diaspora part of global Ukrainian community, and my question is, because it's also a great potential for recovery and reconstruction of Ukraine, do you see any sustainable involvement for diaspora and global Ukrainian community, people who are living in countries abroad? Thank you very much.
Well, definitely, that's why we put a special layer on inviting Ukrainian diaspora in talking about recovery and about your contribution. You know that we are preparing a strategy for global Ukrainians to be presented soon. Well, these are those people who left Ukraine for various reasons before the war, or looking for shelters abroad. We would definitely need them back, and I understand that this is in many cases a very personal decision on how people perceive their own safety and security. And I know that the German partners also realized that bringing people back also depends from the scale of military support of Ukraine and air defense support. And you know, Germans are leading this air defense coalition to make sure that those who are afraid that they can come back to Ukrainian cities, which would be better protected. So yes, my call to everybody here in Germany, we need you back. That's our country to be rebuilt by ourselves. We try to make sure that the assistance of the West will be continuing, and that our cities will be better protected. In the meantime, for those Ukrainians here in Germany, it was my call. Go to find a work, try to learn new jobs, try to find a job here in Germany, because your experience would be needed back home. And once again, one of the greatest German initiatives is Skill Alliance, to help to those Ukrainians who stayed back in Ukraine to get new professions and jobs. So we try to work with everybody. But once again, my call to my beloved Ukrainian diaspora, strong Ukrainian diaspora here in Germany, please make your contribution. And as my president several weeks ago said to the crew of Patriot air defense systems, we waiting for you. Please come soon to Ukraine. So we are waiting for everybody back home.
Yes, and I think that is the right attitude to address this issue. It's a serious issue. And we heard some very disturbing voices during the last weeks in our country talking about how to get best rid of the Ukrainians here in our country. Very inappropriate, I need to say. And the right level is, how can we ensure that there are safe places for Ukrainians, and you mentioned that, to have their home back in Ukraine and support the reconstruction in Ukraine. And it will not be enough. You spoke about innovation, and that you are proudly presenting your country as an innovative one. And I think if we want to get enough people to work in Ukraine, the diaspora will not be enough. You need more. And my dream is that there will be a point in time when it is, let's call it cool, for young people in Europe to travel, to go to Ukraine maybe for a couple of years, and to be part of this adventure, to reconstruct a country, to design the way to Europe. It's attractive. It can be something that many people in Europe want to follow, and therefore, yes, we need both. We need everybody there.
Thank you very much. So now we have the option for one last question, but we have two ladies who want a question. So perhaps we can take the two of them at once? Yes, is that okay? Good. So you start.
Marie-Karin von Gumpenberg. I'm representing Partnership for Transparency Europe. We are supporting civil society fighting corruption. My question is this time not about corruption or anti-corruption. It's it's about your lessons learned from the URC. I understand that you labeled it as a successful success, and only the food can be better. I fully agree, but maybe you have some further lessons learned, what you would see in Italy done in another way, other topics being raised or something like that. So a little bit looking forward.
Well, you know, I always try to base my my session with data, and I put the very same question to all participants I met at the URC. What was good? What was bad? How can you give us a note? And there were only good notes for that, and everybody really liked the diversity and the inclusion of different dimensions. So one of the first ideas was to make it like a fair trade, and that was that we made with the Recovery Forum, where businesses, administrations, and even politicians went down from the first floor to the ground floor, because everything happened over there. By the way, food was not that bad. I suppose that Italian need to have a chance to make something better. Critical point. It was interesting. Some representative of NGOs who were lacking the access to London last time said, well, actually there were too much panels. I could not attend all of them. Well, definitely it was not possible, but I appreciated very much that whenever I went, I saw a full seating at different discussions and venues. So that's why it was a success. Any critical remarks from your side?
No, I agree.
Thank you so much. So let's take the very last question.
Hello, my name is Evgenia Moore and I am Ukrainian. I'm from Kiev, based in Berlin now. I represent the project that is putting focus on the rebuilding Ukraine in a sustainable way. And I just came back from the Lviv Urban Forum from Ukraine last night, and I would like to say that the energy that it was like a lot of people from all over the Ukraine, mostly students, architects, hromadas, and a lot of people who are going to rebuild Ukraine. So I would like to say that the energy and the level of commitment and the level of responsibility that those people are showing are amazing. So that with the support of European Union, with the support of Germany, this country is going to be, our country is going to be amazing, and it has this chance of leapfrog and become the part of European Union.
Well, thank you for your motivating words. You know, in times when Russia destroys our energy facilities, let's be innovative and try to include the energy from Ukrainians into the electrical grid of the European Union.
No, thanks for this statement, very encouraging and very positive. I think we need these positive voices. And by the way, the sustainability of the reconstruction of Ukraine is not something that is fixed now. It's a way, it's an approach, how inclusive you are, how open you are for new ideas, and I think all the chances are there. Thanks a lot.